What's up, Dream Nation? Today we have a special episode. And the reason why I say special, of course, I'm always excited about these episodes, but I say special because I have a good friend on the line. A lot of the times when I'm bringing in people, these are people who I've just met, and I know that they have an amazing story. But when you get an opportunity to bring a friend in and somebody who also has the results and who also believes a lot of the same values that you do, it becomes a special one. So I'm excited to bring him on the line. Mark, without further ado, you want to say what's up to Dream Nation?
What's up, Dream Nation?
This is going to
I
be
love
really
it.
fun. Yes,
It
it's going to
is.
be a good time. And for people, I always like to start off the episodes by, making sure that we give the proper introduction. And I always like to think of us as thought leaders and change makers, but I like to think of us as entrepreneurs that are superheroes. And the reason being is because we fly around a lot with capes on and we're constantly wearing different hats and trying to solve different problems. So before you became this superhero, before you became an international global speaker when it comes to sales and building relationships and leadership, take me back to when you were just a young boy before all the fame and the success. Tell me, who is Mark Hunter?
Well, man, who is Mark? Mark Hunter was a kid with a Kool-Aid stand.
Got
My
it.
my best friend, Rick Boyd, lived across the street. Rick and I, we every summer we'd build this. We would physically build. We'd go around and steal wood from houses that were under construction in the neighborhood or whatever, and we'd build a Kool-Aid stand. And yeah, that was. And then I worked on a berry farm. My dad made sure that I toiled the soil, and I worked in the farm. But yeah, just, you know what? I was just Joe average kid hustling, because then when he had $2 in his pocket, he felt rich, felt big. And then, you get into middle school and you get $10 in your pocket and you feel good. You kind of like, wow, this just, yeah, it just, hustle began early.
Got
Yeah.
it. I love it. Where'd you grow up?
Grew up outside of Seattle.
Seattle,
Yeah.
Pacific
Yeah.
Northwest.
The Pacific Northwest. Yeah.
Got it. So were your parents, you're always a hustler. Were your parents, what type of background did you come from? Like, were your parents kind of entrepreneurs early on?
Well, I don't know. I mean, my mom was a school teacher. My dad, he had a number of different, he was a stockbroker, and then he was a politician. So I don't know. Stockbroker, politician, boy, there's something we could run with there.
Right. And so it's funny because you got exposed to a lot of different things. You got exposed to one, the conservative, the more formal side, the BMP.
Yeah.
At the other side, you got exposed to sales, to relationships, things like that. So would you say that that all contributed to early on you being able to have success?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it really did. It probably, though, maybe almost scared me a little bit, because my father, when he was a stockbroker, was during a very difficult time for the stock market. It was tough. Times were tough. But you know what it taught me? It taught me perseverance.
Hmm.
Taught me you stick with it. And that's, I mean, I look at my parents. They were tremendous role models for me, in terms of integrity, in terms of values, in terms of staying the course. Um, yeah, really. Yeah. I mean, I fondly remember my childhood days.
Got it.
505 Cougar Street, Olympia, Washington.
Got it. So you said that it taught you perseverance and sticking with it. Was there one time or one moment that happened when your childhood that you saw and it felt like everything maybe was going to crumble, or like where did that perseverance become, wow, I can't believe they stuck through that?
Well, I remember it hit me pretty hard. I remember first year I would pick berries. Every year I would pick berries for about a month as the strawberry crop would come in. First day of strawberry picking season, it was hot. It was ugly. It was, yeah. I came home and I said, I quit. And my dad said, no, you don't. No, you're not. You're back out there tomorrow morning. You're going to be
Mm.
back out there in the fields tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock. You're going to be there. No, I quit. I quit. I quit. I quit. No, you're going to be back out there. And he wouldn't let me quit. Would not. I mean, that summer was brutal, but he would not let me quit. And you know what? That taught me a lot. You stay the game, you stay the course, you stick with it.
Got it.
And that was a huge lesson in me, as probably, I don't know, 12-year-old, 13-year-old. I don't know. I wasn't very old.
Right. Did you have any brothers or sisters?
Yeah, I had an older brother and sister, and that's what I said. Well, wait a minute, how come they're not? Well, because they were considerably old, not consider, they were 5, 6 years older than me, so they had regular jobs. So like, why are you punishing me with this? And oh,
Got it.
but that was the hustle. That was the and we didn't call it the hustle. It was just doing it. You had an obligation
Yeah.
to go get a job. You had as soon as you could work, you worked. I mean, newspaper boy. I mean, I had newspaper routes and all that sort of stuff. And my brother did too. And my sister had all kinds of odd jobs. And it was just ingrained in us to
Got
go
it.
out and hustle.
Now, was all of your first ever jobs, and talk to me about all of your jobs really up until you became a world-renowned speaker? Were you always in the sales world?
Well, I was. Oh, this is funny because it's how I start off my book, A Mind for Sales, because I did not want to go into sales.
Hmm.
Sales is not what I wanted to go into. In fact, actually, when I went to college, I got a side gig as a disc jockey. I want to be a disc jockey, but you can't tell your parents you're going to college to be a disc jockey. That just doesn't work too well. You're
Right.
listening to the Mighty. You're listening to the Mighty 95 KQZ Radio 719. No, but anyway, no. And I went to college to get a degree in marketing because it was really the easiest degree, but it was a fun degree. And so my whole goal was I was going to go into marketing. And I was all set my senior year. In fact, I was interviewing with marketing companies and advertising agencies and the like. And then my career changed because of the Seattle Police Department.
Talk to me about that. What happened?
Well, what happened was I got 4 tickets, well, 3 tickets. One was a double ticket. Tickets in the course of about 6 weeks. I didn't know as a college student you needed to obey the speed limit signs. I didn't know you needed to only drive on the right hand side. I just, yeah, I
So you were
was.
forced to have to go make money, and that's
Well,
where sales
well,
came in.
well, this was funny. It wasn't just to make money. I mean, I had a job. I was making. What happened was I got a letter. I paid the tickets and I thought that was done with it. Okay. And a few months after I graduated, I get this letter in the mail from my insurance company. And they were not canceling me, but they were upping my insurance rate so high. They were putting me in the high risk pool.
Like the
That
SR22 type.
you got it, man.
Yeah.
I couldn't afford car insurance. I could not afford car insurance. So what happened was I had to find a way to get a car. Guess what? I got a sales job. I
Got it.
ended up getting a job that supplied me with which was a sales job. And yeah, that's how I wound up in sales. I owe it all. I am sitting here today talking to you because of the Seattle Police Department. How's that
Because of
sound?
the Seattle Police Department. So you mentioned something that I think is very good to know. A lot of perspectives on it because you hear a lot of different things. But what's your definition and the difference between marketing and sales?
Oh, hey, great, great. I love this. I love it. The two really support each other. Uh, Marketing is about creating the awareness, creating the name, and educating the customer. Sales is about identifying the need and fulfilling it.
Hmm.
So if you think about it, the two really fit well together. I
Right.
mean, sales only works with marketing, and marketing all by itself doesn't do anything
Right.
because there's no sales. You need both,
You
but
absolutely
you
do.
need both in a balance. You have to have them in balance because if you get too much of one, just doesn't work. Just doesn't. Yeah.
Got it. Which one, if you're starting a business, which one do you need first?
Well, you need sales first because you can do all the marketing you want. Here's the challenge I see with marketing's fun, it's sexy, it's cool, it's neat. Hey, I'm gonna, marketing, I'm gonna do stuff on the web. I'm gonna put all this social media stuff out there and I'm gonna do all this sort of stuff. Well, let me tell you something. You can't take clicks and likes to the bank,
Right.
So you really got to get sales. Now, the problem is you can't just rely on sales because you're really going to struggle because you're only going to be able to educate customers one at a time, one at a time, one at a time. You can't. So you need marketing to create some mass awareness to really educate the marketplace. And what I like to say is marketing is about softening your potential prospects to be ready to hear you when you come on the scene to sell.
Mm.
That's really it. If you really stop and think about this, um, it, there's a reason why Coca-Cola and Apple and Lexus and all these companies spend billions of dollars on advertising. They're brand names. Everybody knows who they are. Everybody knows who they are. But why do they do it? Because they got to keep reinforcing, got to keep reinforcing, got to keep reinforcing, got to keep reinforcing. Because if they don't, you falls off the face of the earth.
Mhm.
It just doesn't think about it. See, so you got to be ready then for the salesperson. And the salesperson has to be there to seize the moment to be able to make it happen. Because otherwise, all the advertising is wasted.
Absolutely. I love that. And I always, my mind always goes to basketball, and I'm thinking that you gotta constantly be practicing, right? You gotta because then when the
Oh,
game time comes, you gotta be able to ready to win, right? But at the same time, you still gotta practice. You gotta do all the practice, because you just hopping in a game. If you have no practice, you're gonna get ran apart. And if you just practice all day, but you never hop into the game, you never get the feel and the speed of it, then you need them both, but you need them within balance. So I love that you said.
yeah. Oh, you know what? That's a great. I love the way you described that. That's perfect. Yeah, that's sweet.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Now,
I'm
you
I'm gonna steal that and put that in my next book. Okay.
got it. All good. All good. Well, so you early on, you got into sales. You started to do really well. Like, how did you learn? Did you have a lot of mentors, or how did you learn how to be a good sales rep? Was it just naturally to you, or did you struggle in
Oh,
the beginning?
I struggled. I struggled. I got fired from my first two sales jobs.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
You just
It's
weren't
all in the
selling, you
book.
weren't producing, or what was it?
I wasn't producing, and what I was producing was garbage because I was so full of myself. I was so full of myself. I
Hmm.
thought sales was all about me. I really had this view about sales that the customers were like bowling pins, and it was our job just to knock them all down as fast
Hmm.
as possible. Just blow them out. And I got fired from my first two sales jobs because I didn't understand the customer. And I had no support, no mentors, no nothing. It really it was not. I was not an overnight sensation in sales, anything but that. Now, fortunately, I got fired from those first two jobs pretty quickly. I mean, I lasted in one for like maybe a year, and I lasted in the second one for maybe 7 months.
Hmm.
And it was my third sales job with a car that I finally began to realize it's about the customer. And when you really begin to understand the customer and listen to the customer, because that's what it's about. You really got to listen to the customer. They'll tell you what their needs are. They'll tell you what their problems are if you create respect and trust with them. And see, in the first two jobs, I wasn't about creating trust. I didn't have time to create trust. I didn't have time to create respect. I just want to sell you as fast and move on. And yeah, so I was having some success. It wasn't what I could have had, should have had. Um, did I deserve to be fired? Yeah, I deserve to be fired. Yeah, yeah.
So what flipped it for you on this third go around? First two, you get fired.
Yeah.
Third go around, was it a mentor? Was it a book? What was it?
The third one is realizing that, you know what, dude, if you don't get it right, you're going to really be screwed in life. No, I'm not sure. I really don't know. I think what it was I just began to realize that what I had been doing isn't working. So it
Hmm.
probably was just some self introspection. And I did have a boss in my third company that was a pretty good mentor to me. And so
Would you say you didn't
slowly,
have that in the first two? So you were young,
I,
you were
I,
naive, but you didn't have a mentor?
I was young and naive. First one was a small company. I had no clue. They said, "Oh, you're in sales. Go do it. Just go do it." I had no clue. Second company, going through so much turmoil, there just wasn't space for it. I probably never should have gone to work for that company, but hey, they offered me a car, right? Go for it. So it took me a while. Then you begin to get balance. You begin to get some training. You begin to get some support. You begin to develop. Sales is not a solo activity. Sales is a team sport. And you
Hmm.
really got to surround yourself with good people. Jim Rohn, he passed away a few years ago. I believe this line. I believe we can credit this line to him, but he says, you become the sum of the five people you spend the most time with.
Right.
And you really, I mean, I can't stress that enough. You have to be mindful of who you're spending. You know, remember as a kid, our moms would always say, be careful on the friends you choose, you know. Yeah. Remember
Right.
that? I mean, I remember my mom told me, no, you can't play with that kid. He's not good for you. No, 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 no. As an adult, you begin to realize, dang, mom was onto something, you know?
Right. Yeah, and that's so huge. I mean, most people, they try to, it's kind of like that saying that it says, listen, if you want to go to school to be a doctor, you can't be hanging around with plumbers, right? It's just,
Yeah.
it's
Ooh,
not going
I
to
love that.
be, it's
I,
not going to
I,
be the conversations that you really want to get into. It's the same thing. If you want to be a business owner, you can't go hanging around with people who have no aspirations to own a business or who have never owned a business. You got to be around like-minded people, right? Osmosis is huge. And so I love that you said that. So in your third one, like, you start to get a mentor. You start to surround yourself around other people who want to go somewhere, who want to have success in
yeah,
sales.
yeah.
Where did you really start to learn how to be successful at it? Because it's one thing to just surround yourself with other people, but at the same time, building relationships and having that rapport and charisma is a whole different ball game to learn, because you could just
Oh,
run through them like pens, but that's not the successful way to do it.
yeah. You know, again, it was an evolution. It wasn't an overnight. It wasn't a single book I read or a single course I went to. It wasn't like I went to Dale Carnegie or something like that. Wow, he's like different person. No, no. It was, you just slowly begin to get traction.
Hmm.
My evolution in sales really was much like a child growing up. You know, you watch that child go from age, 2 or 3 to 10, and then you watch him go from 10 to 20 and so forth. And that's really what it was. It was not a quick hit. Um, you can't learn sales overnight.
Hmm. Interesting perspective. Interesting. So you started to crush it at it. Now you've been a speaker. How did the speaking thing come from sales? Where did that all come from?
Well, it really, I mean, I was getting a lot of success in my corporate sales jobs. And but I wanted to be I wanted to be my own man. I just want to do my own thing. I didn't want to be beholden to corporate America. And and I thought, wait a minute, I can quit this. I love the job I had, but I said I can do better. I can do better. So it was just like, and I know I can do better. And so I quit. And that was 21 years ago.
Got it.
And yeah, I mean, you really do grow up pretty quickly when suddenly there ain't no paycheck.
Right.
I mean, you really learn how to hustle. And again, you go through an evolution process. It took a little
Did you have
while
a
to get
family
kind
at
of,
this time?
oh, sure, I got 2 kids and married, and oh, yeah. And my wife did not work. Yeah, yeah, I see your eyes bug out there. Yeah, my wife was a stay-at-home mom. We had, our oldest was maybe in the fourth or fifth grade. Our youngest was in probably the second grade.
So
And
wait.
my
You
wife,
had to have, a good savings lined up or
oh
something.
yeah, well no, we had some savings. Oh yeah, we had saved for it and so forth. And yeah, we blew through that. And but I tell you what, you really, this is a little bit like the explorer Cortez when he came to the New World and he burned his ships. That way the men couldn't say we're going to sail back to the old world. No, we're here. And that was a little bit, I mean, hey, we got to figure this thing out. And you kind of go through an evolution. There's multiple phases as a new entrepreneur. You really learn the value of time, and it's and so a mistake too many entrepreneurs make is they believe that they have unlimited time, but their money is limited. And you really got to flip it around.
Hmm.
Really have to flip it around. Time is what you are most limited with. And I look back on those early years, and I could have scaled a lot faster, a lot quicker if I'd put more value on time. But I was, oh no, I can do this myself. I'm going to do this myself. Well, it would take me 6 months to a year to do it,
Hmm.
and it would be garbage. I wouldn't, my early websites, I was doing myself. Like, no, pay the big money, pay money and get it done right. I would short circuit myself on too many things. And I had another entrepreneur share with me a comment. He said, Mark, if you want to get the big checks, you have to be prepared to write the big checks. And I think too many entrepreneurs want to nickel and dime their way. Now, I get cash flow. I totally understand cash flow. But there's also two things that you have to keep in mind. A, it's OPM. I love OPM, other people's money. You got to figure out, how do you leverage other people's money? In other words, how can you create your cash flow in such a way that you're monetizing things before you have to spend for it? I watched a gentleman have to close his business down, and very painfully, because what he was doing was, he had employees providing a great service, doing a great job, but he was allowing his customers, he was allowing his AR to get 60, 90 days behind. Yet he's, of course, paying his, you can't ask your employees to not be paid for 60 to 90 days.
Right.
And it just became a cascading deal. And so cash flow is king in a small business. So you got to figure out, how do you create, and even if you have to discount your price to pay early, you've got to create that cash flow.
So talk to me, give me a couple, because people are listening right now. They're like, okay,
Yeah.
I get that. But give me a couple strategies. Give me a couple things of how can someone create the cash flow?
Yeah, well, here's something. You have to have a tiered selling process. In other words, tiered products. Too many times what I see happening is that people will, okay, just the business I want to do, and I'm going to sell this product at, we'll say, $1,000. But it's going to take me, say, a couple months to make a sale. Well, guess what? I'm going to start with that. So what I got to do is, I got to create some $100 products. What are some $100 products that I can close in 2 weeks, okay, or 1 week, or 1 day? And then I got to create different pricing structures. I was just with a company. In fact, I was just on the phone today with a company that sells a subscription service. Great, okay. Customers pay every month, pay by way of credit card. Great. But I said, hey, why don't we go ahead and offer them 14 months for 12 months, but you got to pay up front. Okay. And their margin is such that they can do that. But what does it do? It creates cash flow early. So I got to sit there and say, how do I create? Because too many businesses are built around just one core product but I want to have multiple excuse me. You really have to create a stair-step process for your customers. In other words, you want to make it so easy for your customers to come into you. Okay, and they come in at this entry-level item, and then you move them to the next one. You move them to the next one. You move them to the next one. Now, the speed and the price level, that's up to you to determine. But make it as easy for your customers to do business with you. Easy. Don't overcomplicate. Too many people, what they do is they overcomplicate. Now, here's the flip side, though. Don't make it so easy in the product that you're giving it away. No, you can't give away anything. Sometimes the best sale you'll ever make is the sale you don't get.
Explain.
Think about that for a moment. Okay, because what happens is, you're cutting your price so much to be able to do it. And well, I'm going to cut my price for cash flow. I know, but you know what? Hold it. What you did was you cut your price to create cash flow, but you now became time constrained because you don't have the time. Again, I was talking with another company today on the phone, and they had a salesperson, very successful salesperson, but he's selling too small of deals. Yeah, but these are deals. Yeah, but they're taking up so much of his time. You've got to take those small deals and put them on, hire somebody. And I told the guy, I said, hey, it doesn't matter if the new person screws up and loses a couple of these small ones. You got to take this really good salesperson, because they only got 2 salespeople, and have this person working on bigger deals.
Right.
Because otherwise what happens is, he's going to only be doing these small deals. He's going to get burned out. He's going to quit. Now You're really behind the 8 ball. See? So get this other person in, and he's been there a couple of weeks. So they have a second person. Go ahead, and he will get good at these small deals because he's learning. But take this experienced person and let them run with bigger stuff. See,
I
so
love
again, as a business owner, I got to create that balance, because if I don't create that balance, I get very distorted. So many small businesses go through what I call the peak and valley syndrome. Okay. And we've all seen this in businesses. I see this in my own business. You have this unbelievable run of business and it's a peak. But what happens is you forget the basics, and then suddenly you're back in the valley. Then you're in the valley and you go, oh no, the world's going to end, the world's going to end, the world's going to end. And then you finally figure it out, and then you get back up and peak and valley. Because what we fail to do are the basics continuously. And the basics is always looking for new customers. I've always got to keep customers and prospects in my pipeline. I've always got to. Because another problem that small businesses make, a lot of people listening DreamNation, they may get a couple clients, they may get a couple customers. Wow, they feel good. I've got business. Yeah, but you know what? Your business is all coming from 3 people or 4 people. Or maybe you got one person's doing 80, it is your biggest customer and they're 80% of your sales.
Yeah.
Well, you know what happens? If they get a head cold, you get pneumonia. Right? And not good getting pneumonia. See, I gotta diversify. I gotta make sure that I got my revenue coming in. So I gotta have revenue coming in from multiple customers, and I've got to have multiple products. Now, don't spread yourself. Again, this is another problem that a lot of small businesses make, is they either have one product, and this is the only thing I'm going to say, which is great. You can be very efficient. But I say you got to have a couple, because what happens if something happens to that product? Wow. I see a lot of people who have businesses where they're basically reselling things on eBay, on the web.
Yeah.
But it's like, but it's like one product. Well, what happens if somebody else comes in the marketplace? You're toast. See, so I got to spread myself out. Now, here's the other piece. You got to ask yourself, what is the value that I can bring for it? What is the value that I can bring to it? I had a guy, in fact, he's become a good friend of mine, Alan Weiss. He shared with me a comment years ago. And at the time, I blew him off. I said, yeah, it doesn't happen. He said, Mark, you don't want to do business with people who try to get upgraded to first class. You only want to do business with people who fly first class. And at the time, I said, there's none of those people out there.
Right.
They're out there. No, they're out there. You see, what he was saying was, know what lane you play in and stay. The internet allows us to reach out to audiences that we've never had the potential to reach out to.
Right. Absolutely.
You think of the audience that DreamNation, reaches, who this podcast reaches. These are people way beyond who we ever have a chance to meet. See,
right.
So the value, but I got to make sure that I stay tight. Don't get caught up in shiny object syndrome, which is, again, what small business. And the other thing that is FOMO, fear of missing out. I can go look at my Facebook account. I could see what a lot of my friends are doing. And I go, wow, I got to do that. No.
How do you stay grounded?
You got to know what your end game is. What's your end game? What's your end product? What's your end, know what your core competency is and stick with it. Don't spread yourself so thin.
But I think in the world, I'm going to stop you there and just ask your opinion, because I think in the world of social media nowadays, and so many people having access to be able to do so many things because everyone's monetizing a different thing, people struggle with trying to figure out, what is my core competency? I have a lot of skills, right? How do I know that this is something that's needed? And at the same time, this is something that I can stick with for the long term, that I'm not going to have to turn around in 3 years from now, this has been a fad. So like, is there a core skill that somebody should be looking to try to build off of? Like, let's say that it's relationships or communication or something that's long term, or is it okay to go after, a product or something that's just kind of been around, but that you think will be like prime example. You see Facebook ads and you look at it and you say, it looks like Facebook and Google ads aren't going anywhere. Right. But then you don't know 15 years from now if it would, or even 10 years from now, because businesses go up and down. So is it okay to go after that product? Or would you say, no, you need more of a core skill that has proven to be around for generations on end?
No, I don't want to chase anything that's going to be around generations. I have no idea. I have no idea. But my skill set
Yeah.
is my ability as a business person to create value for other people. So stop
But
and
I still
shuck it.
think there's some people that are listening that say,
Right.
well, how do I know what mine is?
Okay. Okay. All right. Right. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to sit there and say, what is it that I can do that will bring added value to people I could sell to? Okay. So what is added value? Added value might be, you know what? I run a photography business. I can bring added value through photography. It might be, I can bring added value through a catering. I can bring added value by really just simply arbitrage on eBay. I can go out and I can source this and I can turn around and resell this. And I can do this better than anybody else because I have an ability to position, to showcase, whatever it is. I got to sit there and say, but now here's what it comes down to. The only sustainable competitive advantage you will ever have is your own mind. That's it. It's not what you sell. It's not what you sell. I have watched so many people jump in. I remember I had a friend, he said, you know, Mark, I'm going to corner the market on Air Jordans. That is going to be my market. And he did really well for a couple of years. I had another friend who said, you know what? All I do is I identify gaps in jeans. And I have people around the country that can run around and buy jeans from various stores. And we turn around and resell. And in both those cases, great markets, but then eventually they just go away. They just simply go away. But see, the intellect, it's your own mindset. My goal is to say, how do I find a need that you have that maybe you don't know? Okay, let's walk back and let's think about this example. Back in the day, there were just flip phones. That was it. There was no such thing as a smartphone. There were just flip phones. Then along comes Steve Jobs, and he creates the iPhone. Now, I didn't know I needed a camera, a music player, computer, and phone all in the same device. I don't think anybody did. What did Steve Jobs do? See, he jumped the shark. He went to the next level. See, we have to stop and ask ourselves, what is it that we can create? Now, Steve Jobs was incredibly successful because he had two things going for him. First of all, he had created an ecosystem, the Apple ecosystem, in terms of the Apple computer and the Nano and the iPod, the iPod. I think is that what it was called then?
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
the iPod,
it was.
the music player. Yeah, I got to think back. That was a long time ago.
Right.
And so he had already, he had already created an ecosystem. He had already created trust with his customer base, which allowed him to then bring in the next level of product. Now think about this as a small business. Okay. Who are my customers? Why are they loyal to me? Do they trust me? Do they value me? And only then can I begin to extend the products and services I offer. If Steve Jobs had not had the iPod, had not had the computer, all that other stuff, I don't think the iPhone would have been a success. See? But he already had the base. He had the trust. So if you stop and think about this, how do I create trust with my customers? Because my customers will then help me understand what is it I need to bring to the marketplace for them.
Right.
Now Steve Jobs did not go out and do research and development. He told the marketplace what you want. Ooh, brilliant. See, the only sustainable competitive advantage is your own mind.
Got it. I love it. And that brings us to the next point and the segue that your new book is called A Mind of Sales,
A
right?
mind for sales. A mind
A
for
mind
sales. It's
for
okay.
sales.
For
My
sales.
apology. A mind for
And
sales.
you are in it, man. I think you're in about chapter two. I think I should have found this. I think it's like chapter 23. But I got you in this book, baby.
Yes, and I love it. And I can't wait to read it. Talk to me about why did you develop this and what does it mean to have a mind for sales?
Well, here's the whole thing. It's not about what we sell. It's not about how we sell. It's why we sell.
Hmm.
And having the right mind for sales. What this is all about, it's about really understanding yourself. Now, here's something very interesting. Too many of us wake up in the morning reacting to the day. That's all we do. We just react to the day. I don't want to react to the day. I want to act to make the day. And think about it. The most successful people out there act to make the day.
Hmm.
That's really what a mind for sales is all about. It's about, I firmly believe that everyone sees tremendous number of opportunities every day, but we totally blow past them. We totally blow right past them because our head is screwed on wrong.
Right.
And what this book is about getting your head screwed on straight to where you can see opportunities, seize opportunities, and be able to capitalize on them. Because here's the whole thing. The only good sale is the one that leads to the next sale. Think about that for a moment. The only good sale is one that leads to the next sale. What this means is that you've delivered such good value to your customer that they're either coming back and buying more or they're referring you to somebody else.
Right.
Because here's the whole thing. When I can sell in that manner, now I'm having real efficiency in my selling. Because now what's happening is I'm selling, but the work I'm doing into this is going to wind up creating 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sales. Your measurement of repeat and referral sales is a measurement of the quality you put out there. Now, that's great, but don't rely on that. You still got to be hustling for new customers. You always have to be hustling. That's another thing that I write in the book is that great salespeople don't sit there and just wait for the phone to ring. Right. Just wait for a customer. You know, here's something. This, again, big problem small businesses have. There's really 4 ways that you get sales. You get sales because of existing customers. They just come back and buy more. You get sales because they refer you to other people. You get sales just because they just fall in your lap. You know, oh, the website, you know, whatever it is. And the 4th one is create. The vast majority of businesses are focused on the first 3. The create is the sales. You got to go out and sell. You have to go out and sell. You have got to be prospecting on a daily, minimally weekly basis. Because again, peaks and valleys, when I see companies go into valleys, it's because they didn't spend time when they're on the mountaintop prospecting.
Right. Right. I love it. That's so big. And I remember when I first got into real estate, you know, one of the things that I learned so early was the prospecting you do today is for 30, 60, 90 days from now, the business that you'll have.
Isn't it amazing when you run into people and they say, man, business is slow, and business is slow. My argument, my question is, well, how much time did you spend 30, 60, 90 days earlier prospecting?
Right.
What you prospect this quarter is what you close next quarter. There is a direct, so many times what happens is people will sit there, and I get a lot of small business owners, DreamNation, wake up, listen to this. They will spend time. I don't have the ability to close deals. I don't have the ability to close the sale. That's my problem. No, that's not your problem. Your problem is prospecting. Your problem is prospecting. And problem
as in they're just not talking to enough people.
Well, they're not talking to the right people. You can't take a Walmart shopper and make them a Nordstrom customer.
Hmm.
Think about what I just said. You can't take a Walmart shopper and make them a Nordstrom customer. What this means is that you got to know who is your ICP, my ideal customer profile. Know who your ICP is. Know who that is. And stay in that lane. Stay in that lane. I find too many small businesses, what happens is the phone rings or this inquiry comes in and wow, it's a person that I'm gonna, and they knee jerk themselves to try to sell to them. When all they had was they had somebody who had a heartbeat. My dog has got a heartbeat. My dog ain't buying anything from me.
Wow.
See, if this person doesn't match up to your ICP, let them go.
Right.
Let them go.
I love
But
that.
that's hard. That's hard for so many small business people because they want to land everything. And as a result, they're dinking around, playing around, messing around, and using their most valuable asset, their own time.
Wow. Got it. No, I love it. Now, there's somebody out there that wants to know, hey, they're inspired by you, they love it, but yet they have this little voice in their head and they're wondering, you know, how they can get over the hump because that voice is telling them that they're not strong enough, they're not smart enough, they don't have enough resources. What's one thing that you tell that person to get them to just take action?
Okay, I'm going to tell them two things. First of all, partner up with some really smart people. Get some people. Just like you and I have met a couple times.
Yeah.
And we get jazz. We get jazz just meeting each other, right? We get jazz time. It's sales is not a solo activity. Sales is a team sport. Who's on your sales team? But the big thing is this. Look at customers. Look at and maybe you're new. Maybe you're just getting into the I think I'm going to open up this business. DreamNation. I'm dreaming about this. Don't dream about the product or the service you're going to sell. Dream about the outcome you're going to create. It's the outcome. What's the outcome you're going to create? That's what you have to be focused on. Focus on the outcome. I tell people, people always ask me, Mark, you work with so many different businesses, so many different companies, and on any day you might be selling this or you might be selling that different. How do you like everything that you sell? I go, yeah, I do. Well, how can that be? I go, because you know what? I'm helping people. You see, the outcome I'm creating is I'm helping people. I get jazzed. I absolutely get jazzed. I mean, it's funny, but in a week, I'm going to be at a meeting where I'm going to be helping salespeople who sell sewer pump trucks. Go figure. Sewer pump trucks. You know what? I'm jazzed. I'm looking forward to that. A week after that, I'm going to be talking to a group of people who are selling computer software. Completely different businesses. Completely different. One is truly dirty. And the other is computer software. And I'll get jazzed about both because it's about the customers they get to sell to. You see, so I'm jazzed because I get to help salespeople. With that jazzes me, but I get to help the customers that the salespeople sell to. Ooh, that's really cool.
Right.
See, get jazzed about the outcome you create. And I'll tell you what, it makes it very exciting to get up in the morning. I get up about 4:15, 4:30. In fact, this morning I got up at 4:08. I remember I got up at 4:08. I had my alarm set for 4:15, but I woke up early. I was up because I'm excited. I'm jazzed. I'm pumped. Oh, I also had an early morning flight too, so it's okay. but I'm always up by 4:30 because I'm excited about what the day's going to bring.
I love
because
it.
I'm always looking for. I had a wonderful Uber ride this afternoon. I'm in Houston right now, and man, Jordan was the guy's name. We talked. He grew up in Houston, spent 30 years in the Bay Area, moved back to Houston. We had a great conversation. And I didn't know I was going to meet Jordan when I got in that Uber car. But man, I'm sure glad I had a chance to meet him. You see, that's another thing. Are you enjoying the people who you get to meet? Now, Jordan and I will never probably see each other again. I don't know. But you know what? My day is better because I met with Jordan. So stop and think about that. I would like to think that I made Jordan's day better. Stop and think about that. What does that mean? If every person I meet, I can help them improve just a little bit, just be a little more up on the day, that jazzes me. What does that do? That makes me more open, more mindful. I think I'm doing a better interview right now with you because of the 40 minutes I spent in the car with Jordan. Just having a conversation. We talked about everything. We talked about everything from Husker football to California politics to Houston traffic to everything in between. And it was absolute, talking about kids, parents. It was fun. It's great.
I love it. I love it. And thank you for sharing. That was a nugget in itself that I think a lot of people, they never think about, where you're constantly thinking about the benefits or the product or the service, but we don't think about what is the outcome you want to create. And I think for a lot of people, even myself, if you think of it that way, for some people, is the outcome you want to create more people to make more money, or is the outcome you want to inspire people? Is the outcome you want to release stress from people? Like, if you think about those, I think that it can really help you to find your lane as well. So I'm so grateful that you shared that, because I think that that's a huge nugget that so many people need to hear.
Yeah. I'm going to run with that again here because here's this whole thing. If I can, as I hopefully lift other people up, they lift me up. So what does it do? It changes my vision. Ooh, it moves me to that mountaintop. You know what? The view's a lot different from the mountaintop than from the valley.
Right.
And when I'm up on the mountaintop, it's amazing how much more I see. So what do I see? I see more people to connect to. I see more opportunities. I see more. And here's the other thing. When you're on that mountaintop, isn't it amazing how other people want to connect with you? Other people want to connect with you. And I want to be, my goal is not to be a rain barrel.
Right.
Rain barrel, we're just waiting for opportunity. I want to be a rain maker. See, my objective, when we met for breakfast here about a month ago.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, I got to hook you up with somebody. And before we got on this call today, I asked you, and you had connected with this guy. It's a friend of mine out in the Bay Area who I met a couple of years ago. And what is it? It's about connecting people together. Now, you have no idea. There's no such thing as a straight line in life. Life is tons of curves, tons of things going all over the place. That's okay. But what is it about? It's about finding little pieces here, little pieces there, that you begin to put them together. Every day I'm working on a jigsaw puzzle. Every day. I just never know what the picture is going to look like. And I never know when that jigsaw puzzle is going to be complete.
There you have it, people. Man, this has been such a phenomenal conversation. Talk to me about, if anybody wants to stay connected with you, where can they find you?
Well, my last name, Hunter. That means, I'm the sales hunter. And so the website is thesaleshunter.com. We got tons of stuff out there, tons of free resources. My whole goal is I want to help people. So believe me, there's tons of resource out there. There's links to buy my new book, A Mind for Sales, and high profit prospecting and high profit selling, and they're all out there. But yeah, it really is just, how do we really be helpful to other people? So, the website's thesaleshunter.com. It's all there. And I'm all over social media. In fact, I got to share. I travel about 250 days a year. And I have this little thing that I post on LinkedIn where I post a video from an airport almost every morning. And it's just like a 10-second video. And I get people who are always saying, oh, what airport is that? What airport is that? So I'm just kind of wandering, but you know what? I love what I do. It's helping people. It's fun.
That's what's up. Well, it's been a phenomenal. And you have the book, A Mind for Sales, that will be releasing. We'll make sure that we put a link for that in the show notes. But when does that release?
The book releases March 31st.
Okay.
That is the official Yeah, that's
Depending if you're
and the
listening right away. But if when the show comes out, remember March 31st.
yeah, and it's audio version, CD version, Kindle version, print version, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, bookstores. It's out there. It's out there.
Got it. I love it. Well, it's been a pleasure to have you on, my man, and I look forward to having you back again. You dropped so much value today, and I hope that somebody is inspired enough to, again, just take action, focus on the outcome, and always keep prospecting, always keep building your relationships with more people and building your customer base. This has been phenomenal. Any parting words that you want to leave people with?
Hey, sales is without a doubt the greatest profession because you get to influence and impact people every day.
Got it. I love it. Well, we'll have you on again. Thank you. It's been a pleasure. And remember, Dream Nation, in the dream we trust.